older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Welcome to Ticket Weeknights
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into the LIBA Business Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm going to throw it over to Travis and Gary and let them intro their guest.
Absolutely. And thanks for tuning in today. It's another Saturday morning. We must not have been that bad last week.
We let you on again.
We're back.
Yeah, we let you on again.
Let's see if we can keep the streak alive, right? So I'm Travis Filing, President and CEO of LIBA. And as always, Gary is with us. Gary Tharnish from Home Real Estate Design. Is that right?
It's Home Real Estate, but it's Home Design Real Estate Group that I'm a team member.
I always get that wrong.
Just get the home in there and we're good.
If only I had a pen and a piece of paper in front of me to write this down, I'd be in good shape.
It's not a problem. Also this morning on this beautiful Saturday, we want to welcome our guest, CJ Cooper. I had the pleasure of meeting CJ at a Centersphere group several years ago, and one upstanding individual, definitely a top 10 person I've met in my life. CJ started a new foundation, the Victory Foundation. We're going to talk about that this morning. But CJ has a passion for, I want to say he has a passion for people or sports, but really what he has a passion for is people and making sure everybody finds their purpose and their passion in life, especially kids sports, young adult sports. So CJ, welcome. And tell us a little bit about Victory Foundation. What brought you to starting this foundation, which is, by the way, very, very new. I mean, it's just
It's brand new. So first off, I just want to say thanks, Travis. I got to know you a long time ago, back when I was in the banking industry, and
long time ago.
Yeah, even in the radio world a little bit. And but yeah, Gary, thanks also for having me. Centersphere Connections, and way before that as well. So Victory Foundation is basically exactly right. It's a brand new organization put together here in Lincoln to help kids, and kind of the tagline is Healthier Kids Lincoln. So we got an opportunity to teach them things both in the nutrition side, how they can eat better, fuel their bodies better, but also how they can be involved in some kind of sports, involved in some kind of community, and help them really start making better decisions in life a little bit. So it goes all the way down to what they do for sports, which is, something you talked about as well, but also just how they interact inside the city to be good individuals, good kids, at some point, good adults, because that's what we're all going to have to be around here as they get older as well.
We need them.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I would think for some of these kids, it's the only community they really have. I mean, I see in parts of town where I live, for example, kids that are just free all day long. Mom and dad work 2 jobs. They don't have direction. They don't have a community of peers that they can work with. So I think this is a great idea. But specifically in your organization, you're helping fund kids to be able to play sports, correct? So people can donate.
That's right. Multifaceted. Sorry to interrupt, but you're exactly right. The sense of community that some of them do have maybe isn't the healthiest one either. So that's the other thing to think about. If they are at home because mom and dad, or mom only or dad only, if that's what their household encompasses, is gone. And their choices are sit on the screen and watch TV, or play on my phone if they even have a phone, or go out and get in trouble with kids in their neighborhood and maybe make some not so great choices. This instead allows them to maybe think about the hope of playing with some of the kids that maybe they go to school with on a sports team or in an organized place that might be in their world unaccessible. So they might go to a tryout, or they might not even go to a tryout for a team because they don't even think they can afford it. Why would I do that if it's going to cost X amount of dollars? And what they're seeing then is when they get a chance to, think that they can afford it, or at least get a chance to have those donated dollars used to scholarship them in, then they get a new sense of community and a new team and an opportunity to play a sport they love and go out and do something that's redeeming for them in a big way.
So how exactly do you connect with these kids? I mean, how do they find you? Do you find them? Do you go work with different schools or?
So yes, a little bit to all of it. We're super grateful in our really infancy of this organization to have some awesome partners. Malone Center, City Impact, Crisis Pregnancy Center. Some of those are actually allowing us into their facilities just to kind of get to know the kids a little bit. Let them open the door, serve them first and foremost, just get in their space, get to know them, and then they get a chance to maybe see what the other organizations are like, see what we're like on these other teams, see what these other clubs might be. So those access points are there. We also do some stuff with a few middle schools now. We're just getting started with some different middle schools. In Lincoln, as you know, certain census tracts have certain areas of greater need. So we try to make sure we serve those as well as throughout the city.
And this is mostly getting these kids on. Are these just local teams? Because I'll tell you, the whole kids sports thing is like, it's mental to me anymore. I swear they have, as soon as the kid can walk, he's on some elite league at 2 years old playing baseball or something.
It's a multi-billion-dollar
organization. It's got to be,
right?
Yeah.
So youth sports as an industry is the second fastest growing industry in the United States. You don't want to know what the first one is. It's not a good one. So just stick with youth sports as being the second fastest growing industry in the United States. But I was thinking off air here before we we're talking about how this has really grown, the youth sports world, of how we even said like a fourth grader can play year-round basketball if he wants to. But their desire to be a part of something that's bigger than even their 4 blocks that are around them and their neighborhood basketball hoop or whatever it might be. And that's honestly the place we first connect with them. They might have a hope and a dream, or they see somebody else somewhere at their school that has a certain club jersey on, or they get to go to travel. Our groups that we connect these kids with typically are 60 to 90 miles. So let's even say that they didn't even try out for a team because they're not sure they can get to practice. Right. Let alone an opportunity to go play in Omaha or Grand Island or some of those. Some of the clubs that we partner with that we scholarship these kids in, as Gary was saying, they'll have some higher level elite teams, just like you're talking about. They'll travel the country. Unless this particular child or this kid has some level of just absolute skill set we didn't even see, he's probably not going to be, or she's not going to be on that particular team. But they would have an opportunity just to be on kind of the localized ones. You figure those national teams are going to play 60, 80, 100 games a year, depending on the sport.
Crazy.
And nuts. But it depends on the grade, though, too. The older they get, and so on and so forth. But the kids that we primarily are able to serve are somewhere in the 60 to 90 mile radius or less. They're playing in leagues here in Lincoln of some kind. They're playing in some tournaments in that 60 to 90 mile radius. And those coaches or those groups, those organizations, those teams around town that we can scholarship them into, typically have somebody that'll help or partner with the neighborhood kid or have some carpooling of some kind too.
Okay.
So it sounds like, in the youth sports world, it makes no sense to those of us that send kids all over the country to play or do that, but some kids can't get to practice.
Yeah.
So it's down to basic need that really is a servants of the community more than it is, how do we get this kid ready to play Division I basketball? That's not it.
Right.
Yeah, and that brings to mind another question. So people can, donate to the foundation to help a child. Does it just pay the fees to play, or does it help them get equipment? I mean, some of these kids don't have the money to get a mitt.
They don't.
Or to get to and from practice. What all is entailed, and where do you see this growing for you? Growing to a point where, you're providing mitts, you're providing equipment, you're helping, haul these kids to and from. Where are you at now, and where do you want to go?
So it's super, super infancy now. I mean, it took us about 9 months to make sure the IRS had every T crossed and I dotted and got all the fun government certificates and do the things. But
just real quick, that committee is probably still meeting, but go ahead.
That's right. Yeah, that's probably about right. So it starts with just being in their space first. So in these infancy stages, it's get to where they are. Don't expect them to get to where we are. Go to them, find out where these kids are at. What are they doing over the summer? This is a prime time for us to be in a space to go out into their community, serve them, get on these neighborhood basketball courts, get out. And then when we get these donations in to scholarship a kid, yes, it does play for some the player fees for whatever club they want to go play in. But also sometimes it is equipment. It would cover uniform. It would cover a glove if they needed it, or an extra basketball to practice at home. It would cover basically anything that they need. And many times that club, if they know where this kid's coming from, will also help out. They'll help supplement some of that as well. So
I was thinking on transportation, wouldn't it be cool if like Lyft or Uber, just told their drivers, look, once a week, donate a ride. and maybe help get these kids to and from. I mean, there's so many opportunities, ideas of ways that
There's a
this can
ton.
go for help.
Yeah.
I really love the idea of what you're doing. I think the opportunities for growth and development are going to be fantastic.
It opens a lot of doors. And when
Yeah,
we have to make it cool for the kids to want to show up too. You can't just show up at a city park and be like, hey, you should come play a club sport. Like, that's not what they're after, right? We're not telling them that's what they need to do. We're just opening the door for them to be able to do it. But we're doing it in ways that are fun. When we go there, we're going to serve them some Chick-fil-A or something that's fun for them to actually be attractional towards. Chick-fil-A is not the most nutritionally sound thing out there, but they got a lot of good stuff.
And yet
too.
I still eat it.
Well, and believe it or not, they do a pretty decent job as opposed to maybe some other restaurants. But my point is, we're going to play in their spaces, in their parks. We're going to get to know these kids a little bit. We're going to have a meal for them when they're there. We're going to teach them about how to feel their bodies instead of carrying around a bag of Doritos all day long, which is a real thing. Unfortunately, they do that. And
as you're stuck in between the two fat guys in the room.
Hey,
well, I wasn't gonna throw this guy under the bus all the way across the room for us. I thought he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I'm skinny doesn't mean I'm in good shape. I don't know the last time or ever I've been to a gym.
Can you do a push-up?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I can do a push-up.
You're on the road.
Yeah, if you need fitness, next hour we got movement hours. So I guess
There
hopefully
you go.
Rob Coleman can help me
Little
get in
plug.
better shape.
I love it.
That does speak to kind of the cool factor in having kids want to be a part of what we're doing, because ultimately without the kids involved, we have nothing, right?
Yeah.
We can get all the community involvement. We'd love to have more donations. We'd love to have the support to get this off the ground even more. But the kids have to want to do it. So other partner companies, which is 3 Pillars Performance and the opportunity to have trainers come in and help these kids just get faster, just run.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of ex-college football guys that show up, and those kids want to be around them.
Right.
And then they learn that sense of community there, and then they want to be a part of a team. It's kind of an escalating factor. It's a little bit of a, I don't want to say take the walls down, but it does kind of tell them it's okay to come out and hang with us for a while, and then get them more involved as we go. And they'll actually listen to those big dudes on what to eat.
Yeah. Especially the ones who played college ball, if that's what they want to do.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So now, I mean, youth sports has gotten so insane as far as competitive goes. Because when I was young, I mean, I don't even know junior high. Do they even have teams anymore?
Yeah.
Do they? Okay. So now you can't just walk on a team like we did when we were kids, or at least when I was a kid. So you got to almost get these kids early, or they're not even going to make the junior high team, the high school team. So is that kind of a fair assessment?
It's very accurate, actually. So most, if not all, LPS schools do have a middle school team or variable middle school teams in like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 6th is a little wishy-washy because of the way the international spaces are and the government with NFHS and 6th grade. But most schools in town have some access for them. But they're not going to make that team if we don't get them involved doing something earlier on, get them out of their houses, get them doing stuff on a city park, getting involved with a club earlier on. And it does start earlier. You're 100% right. I mean, these kids, some of them in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade are playing elite level basketball, elite for a 4th grade.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in their terms, and that's what in the mind of a child, that's all that matters, right? Is that it's their elite. That's their version of the best, so that they can be a part of that team in middle school, so they can be part of that community. And then they want to go play more. They want to be involved in something that's redeeming. Like, I've got value now. And suddenly their identity changes a little bit. Instead of what neighborhood they come out of or what their mom and dad did. No, they're a basketball player.
Yeah.
Or a baseball player or a whatever it might be.
Sure. I like the idea that you want to meet the kids where they're at. I think that's a huge thing. I like that you personally do that, which I think is a huge tie. So is there an age demographic that you're targeting with that? Or I don't want to use the word targeting, but I mean, is it 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade? Is it junior high kids, or it's just the whole gamut?
So it would be wide open to anybody right now, especially in our infancy.
Sure.
I'd say a lot of the clubs that we partner with are looking for 2nd grade to be the earliest. Now, if a kid wanted to come out and play in baseball at Peter Pan Park and he was younger than 2nd grade, we could figure that out.
Sure.
Yeah. But 8th grade is kind of the top end for a lot of the clubs. So 2nd through 8th grade seems like about the age range that does a lot of things. By that point, they've kind of decided what they're going to do or not do going into high school. The high school clubs are a little bit harder to scholarship a kid into because the talent level just has to be extremely higher. Not to say you couldn't do it.
Sure.
You certainly could. Certain spaces could do that. But 2nd through 8th grade kind of answers that question, I hope, at least.
Yeah, it does. Definitely. I was just wondering if you targeted that or what you're seeing so far with your kids that you're working with. So if someone wanted to donate to you, right? Is there how can they do that? I have several things I donate to where it's just an ACH payment every month. It's like $25. Not a huge amount, but I have several of those, and that's easy, or any different levels. Are you moving to that? Have you done that yet? Is that something you want to see? Or right now today, is somebody listening, if they wanted to help this foundation out, how do they do that?
First, thanks for saying that. $25, while you say it's not a big deal to you, you live in a certain space where
Sure.
you can buy a cup of coffee anytime you want, or 2 or 3 for somebody else.
Yeah, I can
Not
just grab
everybody-
yours.
Yeah,
too.
you can have it. Yeah. $25 to some of these folks does matter.
Of
And
course.
little things do, every dollar counts.
Yeah.
VictorySFC.org is our website. It is up and running. It is, I'm going to call it a template plus website. It's really not all the way built out. Has a lot of our team on there. So it's important to know who you're working with. I thought that was extremely important.
Sure.
Some areas that we're serving, which is really important. And then certainly some places to just click on and donate. Either one time, we'd appreciate anything, or recurring if that would be an opportunity. And even as small as $5 a month, up to however much you want to do. May, side note, both for us and for other organizations around Lincoln, May's your Give to Lincoln month.
Right.
No big, huge, massive plug. They didn't pay me to say this, but we do have a partner on the month of May has a $10,000 match. So anything we do in the month of May,
Nice.
up to $10,000, and that's Ameripay here in Lincoln. They do merchant processing, but gives us a chance to kind of really launch in a really big way, be impactful with what we're
Oh,
trying
that's
to do.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was victorysfc.org.
Correct.
Okay.
Very
Nice.
good. No, this is really cool. This is a fantastic. So how did you get the idea to get this?
Well, we'll go back a little bit when I was even back in the banking world, and I came out of a banking world for a long time, and obviously did some networking around Lincoln. I've been a part of this community for a little over 20 years, pushing 25. Not that I'm that old. I'm not old at all. I'm still
It's
young.
Just wait.
Right, I know.
He means to say seasoned. We're seasoned.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
not old. We're seasoned.
But in 20,
I'm about to marinate, but we are just seasoned.
in
good way to put it.
20 plus years of working in Lincoln, it's never shocked me to see just how awesome this community is.
Exactly.
Business community, business people, business owners, large and small, they give, and they want everything around here to be better than what it was tomorrow as it is today.
Sure.
So I was in the banking world. We did a lot of nonprofit stuff. I was always coaching and training athletes on the side. I was part of other clubs. And we got an opportunity early on when we started our newest baseball club with Ambassadors of ABA Baseball. We did a thing called Baseball in the Park, Peter Pan Park. We would just show up on Wednesdays at like noon over the summer and started playing baseball with these kids. It was just fun.
Nice.
In the professional world, you got a suit and tie on. You can't always do that on every Wednesday, but our club did. Our kids did. Every kid, kids showed up and they played. That was probably the early seed, Gary, honestly,
Yeah.
to just kind of have that start. Well, as I've gone through a little bit of career development, done some different things, it just continued to be on my heart to do things with youth sports. We've got a couple other businesses now that help support some of those things. But for us to be able to go back to where kind of the roots were for our baseball program now with Ambassadors Baseball and go back and serve in those spaces, it opened the door for some of those kids. I know because we had some 4th and 5th graders that then came to play with us in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, went on to play in high school. One of them's in college baseball now. He's told me multiple times I never would have.
Wow.
Never had a chance to play if you guys didn't come over there, because he never
That's
thought
awesome.
it's not a thing. Like they don't think about it, and they can wish, right? But it's
Yeah.
not real to them until somebody gives
Yeah.
them a chance.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
tangible.
I love what you had to say about the people of Lincoln. So Monolith is a fairly new company here. They just had their big ribbon cutting for their global headquarters that they've brought to Lincoln. And seriously, this company is going to affect the energy industry worldwide. Like
Carbon black,
no
right?
other.
Yeah.
Right. Carbon black,
Yep.
which is amazing. Ask me nothing else about
Yeah,
the
right.
science.
It's very
I listened
heady.
to the guy and I was like, whoa, yeah, okay. Like if you go into calculus, I'm going back to the donut table right now. But anyway, it was amazing company. I walked away from there. It still just makes a hair on my arm stand up to sit there and go, this company could have gone anywhere in the world, or more so the United States. They were looking global headquarters in New York, Texas, Oregon, all over. But what I love that the CEO said, I'm sorry, I forget his name, but look up Monolith. That's amazing. Hopefully we'll get him on the radio. I
Yeah.
talked to him. But he said the number one reason we chose Lincoln is people.
Yeah.
It's the people in this community. And thank you, Lincoln, for making such a huge impact in all aspects of living in Lincoln. It's just a great city to live. Love the foundation that you're putting together. I just wish you the best. I think it's going to just take off, and helping kids and getting them in a community that's healthy, surroundings that are healthy, away from their phones and games all day long. It's just a great thing.
I think it's really up to all of us too to just use the resources we have, not just monetary,
Correct.
but we're given times and we're given talents and we're given treasures, right?
Yes.
We're got to be good stewards of all those things.
Exactly.
So what we have, whether it's a skill or money or whatever, every little bit matters. So it's a good opportunity for us to get out there and use the things that we have, serving Lincoln, and we're doing that with the businesses that we own and taking those back to kids that wouldn't be able to afford it, and then also hopefully be able to launch them.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just to become good humans. None of them have to be Division I basketball players or baseball players or whatever when it's all done. Just good humans.
Yeah, and I like, and at the onset here, I love the idea that you're meeting these kids where they're at. It's not like, here's the things you have to do to participate. You need to be this person or that person or have this talent or whatever. You're just meeting these kids where they are. And I think that's such a great foundation for your foundation. That's kind of funny. But, it's a great place to start.
You talk on the radio? That's great.
I think I can barely talk. That's my form of English every once in a while. So what does my friend say? You have a unique form of Spanglish, Gary. I get it. But anyway, I love that aspect of it. That right now you're like going and meeting these kids where that you have skin in the game, physically, personally, emotionally, and all of that. And I love foundations that start like that. Thank you. It's going to have a good.
I have my own words like gooder. We're trying to make
gooder,
Lincoln
better.
Yeah, we have some words like that. Yep.
I like that one.
So yeah,
good.
But thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, before we throw it to break, we had a comment from Pete Ferguson, who does Bigger Than Score right here on 93.7 The Ticket. He said, CJ, appreciate your advocacy for scholars. Parents, guardians need to remember it's about quality development and opportunity. A great combination of those two will lead to increased access for scholars and families. Appreciate.
Yep. I know Pete well. That's awesome. Thanks for saying something.
So, yeah.
So if anybody wants to make a donation, or if somebody knows a kid that needs
all of them.
Okay.
We have contact forms on the website, victorysfc.org. Contact forms, reach out to us there. There's also donate buttons, but if there's something you just want to reach out, also volunteers can go on there if they want to help us in certain spaces. Another company that wanted to partner with us just to use their resources would be fine too. Anything to help these kids and get them off the ground and continue to give them great opportunities.
And don't forget, give to Lincoln. Go to Give to Lincoln,
yep.
And donate to you guys, and then you're going to get some matching funds out of it.
I hope we did submit to be on that Cooper Foundation, Lincoln Community Foundation website. We're so much in our infancy. I'm not sure that we're actually on there.
Okay.
So if it is just straight for us and it's something you believe in, our direct website would be the way to go for now.
Perfect.
We're a little late to get into our list just because of, we'll say, bureaucracy and IRS documents.
That committee.
But we're
I
gonna stay away
don't
from that.
believe you.
We're not going to go into it. It was just there's a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot to make sure we did it the right way and not rush it. So if we're not on that list, certainly our own website would be great. Well, everything's official there, 501c3 nonprofit, so we can get receipts to anybody and help out in that way.
Outstanding.
CJ, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Again, it's Victory Foundation, new foundation here in Lincoln, and it's going to be fun watching you soar.
It's awesome. I'm looking forward to it very much so. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, let's throw it to break, and we'll be right back on the LIBA Business Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through May 28th is the Mystery Box promotion, a $225 value for only $99. That includes 3 8-ounce fillets, 2 4-ounce fillets, 4 New York strips, and 4 8-ounce sirloins. Also, $2 off all Bear and Burton sauces. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Play ball!
Ready to unleash the fun with Salt Dogs Baseball? Join us at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed games running through August. Stay ahead of the game by visiting saltdogs.com for updates on exciting promotions, giveaways, and events happening each week. Experience a change-up from your typical family night, or make it a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers.
Strike 3, you're out!
Don't miss the fun happening all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try their brand new cake batter cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. Also, enjoy a new energy fusion drink with a variety of flavors and carrot cake muffins with cream cheese frosting. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe. Join us each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon for Youth Football 101 with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves of 7-on-7 football. The future of the sport depends on the foundation set at a young age. Hear those stories and more each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon here on 93.7 The Ticket.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons, football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com. See you there.
How do people feel about getting big fitness energy at Planet Fitness for $1 down and $10 a month? They feel as thrilled as a kid the first summer they're tall enough to ride the roller coaster! That's right. When you join Planet Fitness right now, you'll get access to tons of equipment and free fitness training in a clean and spacious club. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for that all-day energy. Download the free Planet Fitness app and join today for $1 down, $10 a month.
Deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the LIBA Business Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We now got a new guest in studio for this second segment, and Travis, Gary, take it away.
All right. Yeah, we're back. And so Gary, you handed me his business card if you're watching us on YouTube, so I would get it right. And I even wrote it down. And let's see if I still get it right, because the deck is stacked against me.
We believe in you.
So
we believe
Home
in you.
Design Real Estate Group.
Correct.
Top of the world,
Good
check
job.
me out.
Good job. And Travis is the CEO, president of LIBA, and we're a few other hats too.
1 or 2, yeah.
And I have the pleasure of welcoming somebody I met several years in my Centers for Group also, who is just quite an awesome woman. One of my favorite things about this young lady is that you always know what she's thinking. I love how she just puts it out there. This is what it is. We don't have time for all that. Just like, boom. Love Steph for that. But anyway, with us today, this morning, is Steph Terry. She's the Director of Operations at Moral Collision Center / Galaxy Towing, which means she puts paper in the copier, fixes it when it doesn't work, counsels people.
If somebody throws your lunch away, then I get to deal with that situation.
I love it.
you.
I love it. So, Steph, tell us a little bit about Moral Collision and Galaxy Towing, where you're at, where you're going with it as a company. I know you're growing.
Yeah. So I won't bore anybody with the big, long details. I could talk about us forever. I'm like a nerd when it comes to us. But so Moral Collision is a totally locally owned business. always have been, and that's never changing. So we started in 2002, and our owner, we have a single owner, Dan, and he was like 24. I mean, what was I doing when I was 24? I was not starting a business.
Oh, this is a radio show. You have to be careful to say, but go ahead.
Was that too harsh?
No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
You made me really nervous. I've said something terrible on the radio before. I won't say it now, but I learned my lesson and I went to school for broadcasting. So don't even try to trick me.
Okay.
Warn, don't even start. So anyway, yeah, 2002, Dan's like, hey, I want to start my own business. Had worked for some other companies here in town and just knew he could do things better, had these goals and aspirations, and is a super detailed, risk-taking type of person, which I'm the opposite. And so, yeah, started our first location. We're still over like on 22nd and Cornhusker between like Judson and Fairfield.
Sure.
Like Spikes volleyball's over there.
Right.
You can see them right from our backyard. So we're still over there. And then about like, I don't know, 10 years into that, he wanted to make a big leap and started planning our 84th and Adams location. And that opened like 3 years ago already. Seems like yesterday. So we have that giant shop. It was for a while, don't quote me, but like the biggest shop in town, like square footage wise, at least.
Yeah.
Kind of state of the art, designed for like a new efficient process.
It's a beautiful building.
It is.
It doesn't smell weird, which I think some like older shops.
You know, I never even thought of that. It
Yeah.
really doesn't smell weird. And
No.
usually they do.
I hadn't either, but now that you say that, it's like when I'm
Well,
at an event there, I don't feel like I'm at.
I grew up in a small town, so like Wilbur, and everybody goes to the co-op to get their vehicle fixed, and it smells like gas and like spilled oil, and everybody's just drinking their coffee and smoking, and
Yeah.
you know, that's not at all the vision of the new body shop. So we built that location, and then a year later, I was like, okay, we're done for a while, right? Like I can sit back and relax and just do my HR and fill the copy machine and make coffee. And then we decided, hey, Beeman Automotive, the owners wanted to retire and they're awesome. Glenn and Holly had been in business for like 40 years. Very similar mentality to running a business as Dan has. And so we were approached to buy their business and we said, well, yeah, obviously. And we bought that location and we changed the name up just a little bit to be Beeman Auto Body instead of Beeman Automotive. Sounds a little more mechanical related, and that's not what we specialize in. So we're over there on 40th and Highway 2-ish.
Good.
Sorry, 48th and Highway 2-ish on like Rentworth Drive. So
And then you have a new one.
yeah, we do. I wish it was up and going already, but right by Southwest High School, right to the south of Southwest.
Okay.
So there's kind of like a circle center kind of island of property, and that's going to be us. It's going to be bigger than what we have now.
Oh,
At
I didn't
84th
realize
and
that.
Adams. Yeah.
Nice.
We're like on I want to say this is 3 acres up at this Southwest location. So
That'd be about right.
yeah,
I'm thinking
about
where it
3
is.
acres. And so we're able to build a bigger building, bigger inspection area, bigger conference room for our growing staff. I think it's just going to suit Southwest Lincoln so well. We have a lot of customers that travel to us from that area, and it's Lincoln, you love the drive across town. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So much.
Gotta love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got to plan your whole day around that. But
Yes.
so we have people travel, and by the time you get an estimate and then you drop your car for repairs, that's like 2 trips already. So
Right.
we figured there was a need in Southwest Lincoln and surrounding communities, and so we're going up.
And you guys bought did you buy a towing company? Did you start a towing company?
No, we started one. So we had a longtime tow truck driver named Kenny, who has so much towing experience, and he's a great guy. I think what stands out about Kenny is like he comes in and he's like chatty and nice and clean, and some towing companies and tow truck drivers maybe have the bad rep, as far as they're, I don't even know how to say this nicely, but you know what I'm getting
We
at.
get it.
You get it without getting it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I was like, this would be an awesome, possibility. He ended up wanting to kind of start fresh and came to us and said, would you be willing to hire me and start a tow company? And we said, well, yeah, obviously.
Love it.
He has
Yeah,
a whole
perfect.
20, 25 years of customer base behind him, and
Wow.
was able to make those relationships and take them with him. And so Galaxy Towing was started and born, our
And
little baby.
Most people don't know there's actually kind of a shortage of tow truck drivers in Lincoln, because this is funny. My daughter hit a deer. She lives in Elmwood, which is about a half hour northeast of Lincoln, and like toasted the car, shot, couldn't drive it anywhere. And the insurance company had to call whomever, and it was a company out of Beatrice that went up there to get her car and tow it back to Lincoln. And it's like, really? I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah, and those insurance companies, they contract with like companies that will give them like a really good rate.
Yeah.
And so we're not, that's like the vision for Galaxy Towing is not necessarily, you know, to get buddy with insurance.
Sure.
And we're also not a 24/7 tow service. So we're not trying to compete with like, you know, who the city of Lincoln uses and apartment complexes. And that's not our plan or our goal.
So at 2:00 in the morning, you're not calling Kenny.
No.
Get out of bed, Kenny.
No.
Come on.
Now, if you know Kenny, he will do anything for you. So you call his cell phone number and he's out of bed to help you, but probably not on a regular basis.
Okay.
So yeah, but I know during this, so we started Galaxy in November-ish of last year. And then we got that crazy snowstorm where it just snowed for days and days and days and would not stop. And people were stuck everywhere. So it was like, we created like a makeshift office and call center between like the three of us, girls that work in the office. And it was all hands on deck trying to get people towed from place to place. We were making lists and had several days out. We ended up buying a second truck to try and help with that and a second part-time driver.
Nice.
And I know we kept getting comments that we were like one of the few places that would actually like at least take the name and number and like location down. A lot of places were just saying no. Like absolutely not.
That's good.
Which
You're about
I
helping
get
people.
it, but I don't know.
Well, that type of service brings to mind, and also when you said, you know, when Dan and you were thinking about buying Beeman Automotive, that Beeman Automotive kind of fit Dan's model. So his standards. I've always thought, and listening to you, how high Morrow's standards are. And if I have my car, you have a $35,000 car and it gets damaged and it's going to be fixed. I want to go someplace where you have high standards. I really love that about Morrow Collision. I also love that you guys are service oriented. I mean, it's all about, okay, hey, we're going to take your car. Are you set to have a vehicle? How can we help you? I love that you work with insurance. I mean, it's kind of a multiple question here, but that's a big deal too. Like, can I get my car fixed anywhere I want, or does insurance companies dictate?
Oh my
that?
gosh, don't even get me started on that.
We
Yeah.
can talk about something else.
Yeah, well, no, I worked at an insurance company for 5 years before coming here. And the one thing that was like pounded into our head was absolutely never, ever, ever. There was actually a word track we had to read. You cannot like direct your customer to a certain place or say you have to go here. You can talk about the benefits of like a certain program, you know, but you can't say you have to go here or we're not going to pay for it.
Got it.
That is completely illegal. And so nothing aggravates me more when people call in and they say, well, my insurance company said I had to go to this place. I'm sorry. I really want to go to you guys, but I can't.
Yeah, not a good thing. So people can.
Yeah, you can
100%.
go wherever you want.
That's
You
good
should
stuff.
go where you want to go. I'm not saying it's us, but wherever you want to go in town, feel confident, feel comfortable that those places are going to be around the next day to help you. And no body shop is perfect. It never will be. It's people trying to recreate what a machine does. And
Right.
that's just kind of impossible.
Sure.
So there will be little things that happen and you want to go to a shop that's going to take responsibility for it and not send out the manager to try to smooth things over and come up with excuses. And we started implementing that, you know, if a mistake is made, the tech that actually did that job and the work has to come out and talk to the customer.
Yeah.
They have
Well, and
very,
own
very
it.
little face-to-face. And I think that just puts huge importance on what they're doing.
Yeah, and the quality. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they just own it and you move forward from that.
Yeah.
So that brings something that kind of surprised me. And I heard you say this and I hadn't thought about it, but like the drive-by repair companies that are going to fix your hail damage,
Yes,
for
yeah.
example. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so it happens mostly during hail season. If you have an area, especially in the Midwest, that's prone to hail and gets hit with hail, you have companies that just are traveling hail repair companies, paintless dent removal, PDR. And you will see them in a tent, kind of like a carnival, set up with a big sign that says like, you know, come see us for PDR or hail sale or whatever it is. And they'll actually take a percentage off of what you get quoted. So you get to pocket some of the money from your insurance company and then pay the rest to them. And then like a week later, when your hood won't open or your trunk doesn't work, then they're just like gone.
And a lot of those companies for those small dents, don't do they use like I was told it actually can crack the clear coat.
Yeah. Yep.
And then here comes the rust, right?
So
And they're gone.
yeah,
they're toast.
PDR is a great tool, but it is a complete art and science. And I've seen it in process, and it's just mind blowing how tedious and slow and just really, really precise you have to be when you're repairing those dents. And it's amazing because it can do the work without having to take apart the vehicle, which is always something you want to shoot for. The less you can do to a vehicle, the better the integrity is left from the original make of the vehicle. So yeah, if you're not talented and you didn't go to school and you don't have that experience, there's going to be things you don't even notice until down the road.
Yeah.
So,
Till it's too late.
Exactly. And they're gone, and then you're stuck with rust that really just never goes away.
Ugh.
Because I have the pleasure of being in a group and I see
Yeah.
you every week and I hear you speak, I kind of know a little bit about this. But during COVID, especially, it seemed like it developed then more parts shortages and people getting their car repaired was a long time. Is that getting any better? So I damaged my car today and I have an $8,000 repair. I need a new bumper, quarter panel. How long is that going to take on average if I have an American made car?
Yeah. What? Oof, you're throwing me. What kind of damage did you say?
Oh, like the bumper, like $8,000 repair, and it's a lot of body work.
repair.
It's a lot
That
of body
sounds
work.
like a lot. I mean, I would say like a good week and a half, like 10 business days or so to 2 weeks.
So that's better than it was during COVID. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know during
way
COVID
better.
there was like a huge shortage. That's good that that's gotten better.
Yes. So we have the capability now to really be able to kind of tell what parts are on back order and prepare the customer and the repair for that. During COVID, we did not. Like
Right.
we would find out the day of that something was behind or something wasn't available. And it was for customer service standpoint, when we take that so like to heart, that was really difficult on us.
Yeah.
But some parts are still really hard to find
Yeah.
because it's my wife actually drove her car into a building, one of my buildings. Thanks, honey. I should probably move on from this.
Lincoln, by the way, is the #1 city for people driving into buildings.
Oh, well, add Panama to that list.
Where do you find these facts at?
So I rented at for 36 years. I rented at 56 and Highway 2, and our building was driven into 3 different times.
Oh my
On
gosh.
the 3rd time, the owner's like, "Yeah." So the insurance company told me that actually Lincoln is like the #1
Wow.
city for. I don't
I'll
know
be
what
dang.
it is. But
I
anyway.
don't want that getting out.
Oops, it's a little late.
But yeah, so she actually took her car to you guys
Oh,
and
yeah.
fixed it up. And it was a fantastic experience. But the grill, there's like that little plastic.
Mhm.
She is still waiting for it because there's like 900 people on the list to get that part. It's not anybody's fault.
Isn't that crazy?
But still waiting for that grill, which you guys did a great job
Thank you.
kind of fixing it to where it looks normal.
Yes.
But it's still
And it'll be the weirdest part too. Like, I don't know, the weirdest, most obscure thing ever. And our hope is always, is this just like a pretty looking part? You know, is this something that doesn't affect the integrity, the safety, the drivability of the vehicle? Because we want to get that back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, it's a pain for everybody, and there's really nothing I can do about it. And parts will always be the biggest struggle, I feel like, of any body shop, because you're relying on so many outside vendors and outside circumstances
Sure. Yeah.
for you to do your job. It's just out of your control. You can only do what you can do.
Yeah, it's a lot of parts have to align themselves
Yes.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Right when you need
If I
it.
win the lottery, I'm gonna create some like software program for body shops that helps like the parts process.
While you're doing that, I can travel for you and let you
That's
know about
right.
it. And
That'd be
you know,
amazing.
just,
It'd be
say, hey, this is really cool. Yeah, there's a trucking company in town that gets their new, the new cabs every year that are going to be delayed because the company, the mirrors, where the mirrors are made for the truck, company had a fire. So now it's going to be like 3 months behind before they're going to get any new trucks. It's just all these little things just have to match up. I mean, we don't think about it. We take a lot of those things for granted. It's like, oh, my car's damaged. I'm going to take it in. They'll fix it. No big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking about COVID too, like I thought things were going to really, really slow down because we had just opened 84th and Adams like a week before everything shut down.
Oh,
and
geez.
so then it's like, and I keep hearing stories from people that have done that, and it's hit or miss. I think it all depends on what your industry is a lot. But thankfully for us, we were considered, essential,
Yep.
being in like transportation. And we just stayed consistently busy. And people that hadn't repaired for years decided, well, I'm at home. I guess I might as well get stuff done. So
Yeah.
I can't thank the universe enough for allowing us to be open and busy at that time, because I know a lot of people did not.
Yeah.
So, as a
and
local business.
I mean, nobody's driving, so nobody's having car
Exactly,
accidents.
yes.
And man, it's just amazing that so many businesses pulled through that.
Oh yeah. I look back on it now, and at the time you don't realize, but it's incredible. And then after COVID kind of ended and things started opening back up, and it's like people forgot how to drive. So then we had this huge influx of people that just never drove anymore to work or anywhere, and just were rear ending, and I couldn't handle life normal again. So
Yeah.
That's funny.
You'll have perpetual business just by the fact that people text and drive.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
my 3-year-old daughter says, "Mommy, don't text and drive."
Aha.
So
Good for her.
They're
Way to go,
it's
Scout.
getting into the young kids somehow. Those kids.
I love that.
That's crazy.
Well, I remember, so I grew up in the era where we didn't wear seatbelts,
Oh,
We'd-
yeah.
We'd go on family trips and you'd fight over who got to lay on the back
Right,
dash
in the
and
back
watch
window.
travel.
Yeah.
in the back
Oh, yeah,
window.
that was the thing,
And then I
man.
remember my son was like, is when they really started, you have to wear your seatbelts, click it or ticket, type thing. And Josh would always be like, "Dad, you don't have your seatbelt on." And it's before cars clicked and let you know. And I said, "Yeah, son, I know I don't have it on." He goes, "Well, will you please put it on before we go?" And I'm like, So I got in the habit. Now it's just habit. But I mean,
Could you imagine just going back in time with some of these young people? Because my mom always goes, I mean, it was the 70s. You drove down, you drove down the highway at 60 miles an hour with a baby on your lap, smoking a cigarette, and you just.
And then in the station wagons where the back seat faced backwards and the kids were there, like my sister and I, and we're driving and we're putting our nose up against the window.
Oh,
and
yeah.
sticking our tongue at drivers behind us.
Trying to get the
All those
semis
days are
to blow
gone.
their horn, and yeah, that's.
But we strayed a little bit from
How did
collision
anybody
talk.
survive?
I know, right? I don't
Yeah.
know how we did. Well, the cars were made from metal and steel was one thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I had a car I was like high risk insurance till I was 40. But in my 20s,
I can see that.
My car, oh yeah, my car. I had a Dodge Coronet, and everybody called it Mauler. There was literally one time I was stopped. A truck towing a bulldozer hit me
Oh my gosh.
and totaled the pickup, and I drove away with minor damage, and my trunk still open. And he rear-ended me. I mean, they just don't make them like that
No, they
anymore.
don't.
What was your first car?
A Hornet.
What is that?
It's the worst vehicle ever. Google it.
Yeah.
I said it.
AMC.
Is it AMC?
AMC, yeah.
Hornet.
A little-
Horrible. that
little
we drove.
car,
It's
or-
a very ugly. It was a very
Oh.
ugly car. It was, yeah. Think of like when you think of bees that sting you, and that's an icky thought. That's how my car looked. Let's just leave it at that.
That's funny.
That was my first one. But the first car I loved was a Nova. 70s. Oh,
Those moved. If you had the right, if
muscle
you had the V8
cars.
in that, yeah,
Oh.
those things boogied.
Yes, that's how I learned to speed. I still, well, I don't speed. I do. I did this morning.
Whoa, don't want to admit to anything.
Let's-
Come on. now.
yeah, that's right.
Well, we better wrap up this segment.
All right. Well, Steph, thank
That's
you.
your cue to shush.
Thank you so much. for
Gary can
coming.
just go and go and go.
Thank you so much for coming down on a Saturday morning, especially after you just had graduation last night. And you
Yes,
were up
I was a little
late.
sleepy, but anything that you're involved with, I know is going to be fun
I
and
love it.
a good time. So I appreciate both of you and the opportunity.
Yeah, and let's throw out the website.
Yes, morrowcollision.com or beamanautobody.com or Galaxy Towing LNK. Don't do that. Just Google Galaxy
just call
Towing.
you, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna set it all up when
Whoa.
you're done.
That's embarrassing, everybody. Just Facebook us or just Google it. You'll find it.
And a little plug. Congratulations to is it Allison
Yeah.
that graduated last night? So
Allison.
Yeah,
From Lincoln Northeast.
there you go.
Nice. Well, we're going to throw out the break. One last segment here on the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Emerge Zero. Building off the original best-selling Emerge formula, Emerge Zero is a body slenderizing solution that helps blast body fat, curb appetite, and provide the energy you need to get through the day. Emerge Zero can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer. Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Old School with DP and J.
Very small percentage of players, coaches, administrators thinking like, I'm planting my flag here. Nick Saban's run probably won't happen. It takes a very unique person and personality to be comfortable where you are, be strong enough to push to get what you need, and then also be very strong enough in a player's standpoint to advocate for yourself at the right time.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot, and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh, wait. You already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One last segment here on the LIBA Business Hour just to wrap up the show. Just a Husker sports update. Nebraska is up 3-1 against Indiana in the first game of the day. Again, Nebraska has to beat Indiana 2 times to advance to the Big Ten championship in the tournament. But with that, I'll kind of just throw it over to you guys. to wrap up the show. And who do you guys have on next week?
Who's on next week?
Next week we'll have a great show. So next week is Echo Bell of Bell Solutions, and Echo is CFO on the go. And I had a business prior to becoming a realtor for 36 years, and I have to tell you, when I started using Echo, it's just completely changed my life. You have your business, you get your taxes done, get all the pile of stuff in last minute, you get your taxes done, it costs you a fortune, you get this pile of papers that, of course, nobody can read and understand unless you are a CPA. And I never had really coaching about my business. I was never up to date on my business. I mean, I got financials and everything, but it wasn't always current. And I hate that part of life. Work. I just hate that part. So she handles all of that for you. It'll be a great show next week to talk about their process. They're all about process, how it works. I saw companies during COVID that would have gone out of business other than her company was there to just go, yeah, you need this information for the government to get this aid. Boom, you have it right now. Where I saw other small businesses that were not organized or using her process, which is pretty simple if you just keep up to it on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just getting the stuff in right away. Other businesses never got some of the grant money they could have gotten or help, just simply because the book work and all that tedious stuff was, dragging. And when you own your own business, you're suddenly HR, you're the buyer, you're HR, I was sent into the hallway to talk to myself all the time, by the way, because I was the HR guy.
See, and I'm so lucky because I've got my wife who started our business and is way smarter than me.
I love it.
So I was lucky enough to have somebody there to help me out along the way.
Yeah, got it.
No, you
okay. One last thing too.
Finish
We talk about that we're here for the LIBA Business Hour, but Lincoln Independent Business Association is here to protect and help free enterprise. So if you have a small business, email Lori, Laure, at LIBA.org. Get a call into her or an email into her. Find out about the organization. I've been a member since the onset, and it's well worth it.
Awesome. Well, great show, guys. Excited to have you guys on next week. Another update. Indiana just scored bottom of the third. So Nebraska is now up 3-2, but still up.
We're hanging on.
They're up 3-2 in the bottom of the third. So we'll see if Nebraska can hang on. But we got the Movement Hour with Rob Coleman up next. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
You can get diesel anywhere, but what about Atomic Diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits.